Hello there, welcome back. Ungainly Titan here. I'm back from my break and I'm glad to be back in harness, so to speak, and ready to go again. Feeling a bit more refreshed, and the weather has been absolutely glorious. It's certainly the warmest beginning of June in quite some time, I think. And it's still going. Today is not as warm. It was very misty this morning, but it's quite sunny outside right now when I'm making this. So, the weekend, I went to see HoboCon in Dublin. It was a small convention being held in the Teachers Club. I had seen it advertised on Facebook, wasn't too sure what it'd be like, and I thought initially that a friend of mine would be able to go along with me, but he wasn't able to make it. Other things had come up, I suppose, and anyway, the weather was glorious. Probably took the family to the beach, and was probably a more useful thing to be doing than sitting in a darkened hall playing games. Turned out though that I didn't do much sitting in a darkened hall playing games either, because it's a small con, and I've seen this happen before at small conventions. If you go on your own, you can be pretty much left high and dry, because the groups that come there are sort of know each other. And it's the same people that go there year in, year out, and they don't get too many strangers, and there isn't sort of many people looking for somebody to play a game with, coming in on spec, so to speak, and that kind of stuff. Staff were very helpful, I must say. They were very good, and I did get a couple of games of Splendor with the staff during some quiet periods. But after that, then I was sort of left to my own devices, and I went through their games library. They had some pretty good stuff in the games library. In particularly, I was interested in a game, Inish. Inish is a board game. I'm just going to show up the cover there. I'd seen a review of it by Sam Healy on the Dice Tower, and he spoke positively about it. Well, it wasn't a review, I think it was one of his top 10 lists. And I'd seen a review of it as well, and I thought it sounded like an interesting game, so I got the opportunity to sit and read the rules of it, and I sat with it actually hoping somebody would come along looking to play it, but I didn't really get any interest. It's complex, so I probably won't be buying it immediately, because I have a couple of other games that I've bought, and I want to get the opportunity to play them before I'm going to look at Inish. It's worker placement, area control, card drafting, all of those mechanics are used. The artwork is really lovely. It's Jim Fitzpatrick's work, and very strong Celtic theme to it. However, it's not just reading the rules is kind of hard to get a sense of the game. There's a lot happening in the turn, or a lot potentially can happen in the turn. But it looks like a very interesting game, and it's certainly something that I will keep an eye on and probably add to my wish list, because it's I can see myself getting a copy of it at some point in time. However, I've recently acquired Twilight Imperium 4, and I must get around to playing that at some point, or at least working out if I have a table big enough to play it, because I may actually have to buy some kind of cheap folding table or something that will just take the main star map. However, that is another problem. Did not realise until I was in Dublin that the tall ships were actually in Dublin that weekend as well. Should really have gone out to see them. Thought they might be still there Monday. I went out in that direction. That's how I got the blister on the foot, and that kind of kept me off my feet for the rest of the week. It is healing up, but it's still a bit tender. So I'll give it another couple of days before I start going any long walks again, particularly in new boots. So the other thing I wanted to talk about, and really the main reason I wanted to talk, is actually that Jono left a comment on one of my videos during the week asking about platooning with me in World of Tanks. And go ahead, feel free. Ungainly Titan 1 is my actual gamer tag on the Xbox Live. But I'm Ungainly Titan on World of Warships and World of Warplanes, because they're not available on Xbox Live. And I'm actually, I have an account on World of Tanks PC, but I don't play it. I haven't played it in a couple of years. And I don't see myself doing it anytime in the near future. Although I may change my mind. So the thing about me in platooning though is that obviously I have problems with my internet periodically, and particularly in the summer because it's very crowded. Now they are upgrading it, that is definitely going ahead. They have actually cabled as far as my gate at the road. However long it takes them, though, they have to complete the cabling. There's a lot of cabling to be done in a rural area. It's quite a large area, and there's a fairly high density of houses in rural Ireland. A lot of small farmers that became workers in the local towns or further afield, and they built houses on their own land for their children, and so there's quite a lot of people living in the area, and all of these people have to be connected up. And they have to upgrade the exchange, which they probably haven't started doing yet. It's again impossible to know exactly how they schedule all this thing. But definitely, if you see me online and you are interested in platooning and you see me on World of Tanks, by all means send me a message, see if I'm available, and I will try and respond positively as often as I can. Don't be disappointed if I turn out to be awful, because you are seeing the best games. You're not seeing my average games. So I'm perfectly capable of driving around a corner into 5 enemy tanks and get annihilated 2 minutes into the game. Don't recommend it, and I try and avoid doing it as much as possible, but I still occasionally make all sorts of newbie and noob mistakes in World of Tanks, just as good as anybody else can. So, but at the same time, you're still welcome to platoon, to invite me to a platoon. If I'm available, I'll respond if I can. It depends on how, like I said, the internet is at the time. I know that I have been asked to platoon sometimes, and I've had to turn people down because I was just about to quit the game because it was just unplayable. Another thing that has caught my eye recently, this time for once YouTube actually came up with a video that I actually was interested in watching. Somebody was doing a let's play on Fort Triumph. Well, what's Fort Triumph, says you? Well, it's an early access tactical war game. Kind of a tactical war. It's a tactical war game, done as a kind of an RPG, but it's really a tactical war game. It's XCOM style combat in a fantasy setting, and it follows the RPG trope. You have a party of a wizard, a ranger, a paladin, and a barbarian, and they're out there, seeking adventure, treasure, reputation, the usual stuff. But the actual combat stuff is XCOM style combat, turn-based tactical combat, and I always found the combat in the modern XCOM. We won't go into the old XCOM. The modern reboot of XCOM, I actually found the combat system to be really good, the tactical combat to be really, really good, and of a very, very high standard and difficulty. And I've often was kind of hoping that they would make further use of it, and you'd see more opportunities to play XCOM style combat. I've always personally preferred tactical combat turn-based to tactical combat done in real time. I've never been a fan of RTSs, mostly because I'm crap at them. And the Total War series as well, I remember trying it and finding that I was just totally crap at it. Now, at the time that I did try the Total War series, I really didn't have the time to learn the game. I didn't have the time to spend on the learning curve. And there was other stuff that sort of gratified me more immediately. Well, mostly, like I said, I go for games like Civ, so I prefer turn game for strategy and tactical combat type games, and this looks quite promising. I've bought it, downloaded it, and started playing it, and I've actually gone about an hour and a half into it and got my ass handed to me by the bad guys at that level. And I'm going to have to go and do it again, because as far as I know there's no autosave. I just had to go back and do it from the start. I think. I'm not sure. I'll see when I get back to it. I have some of it recorded. I must go and look at what the recording is like, and you will see more of it, because I'm certainly enjoying it so far. And that's it, I think. I don't have a whole lot more to say.
Be advised, a line of thunderstorms is approaching. We'll soon be unable to provide support.
So normal service should be resumed from now on, back to the usual routine of World of Tanks victory videos and whatever else that I happen to be playing. Like I said, I'll probably have a bit more variety over the summer, I hope, and I look forward to seeing how it all turns out. So thank you very much for watching and for being patient with me, and I hope you found the video interesting and enjoyed it. And if you did, please give it a like. If you haven't already done so, please give the channel a subscription. And I will catch you all again soon, and bye for now.